What are some of the biggest obstacles or struggles that you've encountered in like the music industry, the whole entertainment industry, or like what do you think? Because it's interesting because some people take the route that you took of doing it from the ground up, starting off, as an intern, just on the set, learning everything. Some people go to NYU or to the top film schools in the world. You didn't take that route.
No, I mean, I went to Playhouse West Acting School for about 3 years. Repertory theater. They have like their own technique, predominantly Meisner. Meisner taught there a little bit before he died, which is like an acclaimed acting teacher.
Okay, so you did take some. You did.
Yeah, I did. I didn't do the whole. I know people who have went to Yale School of Drama and NYU and things like that. I never did any of that. Kind of like we were talking a little bit off camera. I had some. Always had a little bit of some family obligations. Dealing with some. Sick family members and things like that. So there's always a part of me that never really wanted to go away too far when it came to school. But I ask questions, so if I know someone has a certain education or background, I ask.
Right.
You know what I mean? To the point where I will take down notes. I've said, hey, can I meet you for coffee, and done this?
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, wait a second. So your teacher is the script reader for whoever famous actor, Denzel, Tom Cruise, whatever. Oh, well, teach me some stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how I've been. That's how really I've been able to learn stuff. Like my dad, he kind of raised me that way, where if you don't know, ask, right? So you do that. So that's what I've done.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They say never be afraid to ask for what you don't know.
Right.
And so you've almost like created, I don't know, I'm just really asking a question, like mini mentorships? Or
Yeah.
Don
Little
Welch is his name?
Yeah. So that's one person. And then I've had other teachers who have been, I don't want to say mentors like on a personal level, but to where, like, for instance, I remember back in the day at our class, you pay for your classes, you get to go once or twice a week. And they said, well, if you want to come in additional classes per week, you can, there's no extra cost. So I used to do that all the time. Okay. And I would just ask this question, that question. Oh, my teacher's doing a screenwriting class or script analysis. I would take it, and a lot of people overlook that stuff, but to me, it was important. So there's certain things that I do that I don't think about because the work was done. It's like shooting a basketball. It's like someone teaches you technique, and over a period of time, you don't really think about it because you've already learned it.
Right.
You've already learned to whether you have, like I do an outline before I write.
Okay.
In terms of a screenplay, I always do an outline. So there might be times where I sit on certain things for a while, and by the time it's time to, like with the TV show, I have features. I have a feature film script that I already wrote just in case it did become a movie.
Oh, that's dope.
And it only took me, a few weeks or a month to write that, but I was able to write it quickly because I already had an outline and that type of thing.
Did somebody teach you to do an outline?
Yeah, multiple people. So just flushing it all out beforehand, and then by the time you get to the computer screen, it just starts to flow. So yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Are you from California?
Yeah, from LA. Basically, we pretty much like lived in the hood and went to the suburbs. So that's pretty much like really quick before like at a young age. So lived in LA, South LA, and then moved to the Inland Empire. So kind of all over LA a little bit, or all over Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, one. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd y'all grow up? Did you grow up with both your parents in the house?
Yeah, we grew up with both. And my father, he was basically like a single parent because when I was young, my mother was sick. She got sick when I was probably like 8-9 years of age.
Wow.
Yeah. So she.
Well, yeah. What did she suffer from?
Yeah. So she had multiple sclerosis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she got that, and right around that time, it went fast. So she stopped. She lost her ability to walk.
Wow.
Yeah. So it went pretty quick. So it was almost like having a single parent upbringing to an extent because physical mental, just some of that stuff just declined for her. And then like we were saying a little bit off camera, unfortunately, you know, later on in life, my father had a fall. Yeah, and snapped his neck, and so at one point in time, I was kind of caregiving for both. I had moved back home for a little bit. I was caregiving for him, and then she was in a nursing home, so I would have to go see her, but I would also take her to her appointments and things like that, because sometimes they couldn't, you know, get someone to take her in time and things like that. So it was stressful, and I was doing that while still commuting to do plays and record music.
That's
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
that's commendable,
Yeah.
brother. So you were 8 years old when your mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis,
Right about that, yeah. Mhm.
and then when, how many years was it before your father had a fall?
I don't know, somewhere.
How old were you? Do you remember?
Something, my 20, like maybe, like, you know, what was I mean, yeah,
It must have been tough.
yeah.
Did you get
I
help?
wasn't a
from your
kid. I was an
Right,
adult
you was
when
a
he
young
fell.
adult,
Yeah,
right.
I was young. Yeah, I wasn't a kid. No.
But still, caregiving at any age is I don't know from experience, but I've seen it
Yeah,
close from other members. But I didn't have to experience it, but I imagine.
yeah. It's tough. You know, I just focus on God. You know, and just keep it moving. You know, I've been programmed a certain way, so I don't really, even when I get sad, I just go. You know what I mean? Which I probably get from my parents. You know.
Right.
So
And going through that whole experience.
yeah. So the main thing at that time, it was really just focusing, concentrating, and just making sure that they were good. But you know, it's a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise, because not everyone gets to be with their parents before they pass.
Okay. Wow.
You know?
Incredible,
And that's deep, but it's true.
and able to show them how much you care for them.
And see, if I didn't have that, I'd probably be in bad shape. Because I'd probably be in pretty bad shape. You know, also too, not to be, and, you know, just saying this from a spiritual perspective, nothing political, but you know, I was like this probably about 9 months ago, I converted to Islam after years of studying.
Oh, okay.
So I have a firm belief in God. It's not the way I view things is that I've always viewed it as like there's me and there's like all praise due to Allah, he's great, right? But it's like, so I'm not trying to downplay that, but it's like God always being right here. You know what I mean? Just connecting through prayer, and things like that. So I feel like that's always guiding me through it, you know? And you always say how, you know, this could be worse. Not to be negative, but it could.
Yo, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Because there's always people worse off.
Brother,
all over the world.
I
all over the
connect
world.
with you 1,000% on
Yeah,
that.
all over the world.
That's right.